Welcome to this episode of Brain Health Today. I am your host, Scott Larson, and I am again joined by Dave Larson, Director of Education for the American Brain Council and a popular instructor to healthcare professionals regarding brain health. Our topic today is B vitamins and how they contribute to brain health. Dave, welcome. And first question is, what are the B vitamins and what do they do for us?
B vitamins are obviously vitamins that are actually critical for the brain. There are at least 12 B vitamins, and all of them have a role to play in terms of brain health. Let me just illustrate that with one example, particularly related to Alzheimer's. I mean, nobody wants to get Alzheimer's, but if you listen to the public media, you might think that there's really nothing that anybody can do to reduce their risk for developing Alzheimer's or other types of dementia. I mean, if you have the genes, then there's not much you can do. You're kind of stuck. It's pretty much up to Mother Nature as to what happens. But I want to share with you a point related to the B vitamins that's very significant if you want to improve your memory, if you want to reduce your risk for depression, if you want better hearing, for example, or reduce your risk for hearing loss, and if you want to reduce your risk dramatically for Alzheimer's. This is simple and inexpensive, and it has to do with primarily 3 B vitamins. A number of years ago, researchers discovered that one of the primary biomarkers for Alzheimer's is an amino acid called homocysteine. As noted, that's also a risk factor for hearing loss. And they later then found that there was what we call an inverse correlation between homocysteine levels and B vitamin levels. That is, the higher the homocysteine, this inflammatory marker, generally the lower the levels of B vitamins in a person's body. So there was quite a bit of speculation. There were 4 major studies that found this correlation between high homocysteine and low B vitamins. So the next question was, well, if you just took more B vitamins, is that going to lower your homocysteine and therefore lower your risk for Alzheimer's? Well, again, there was a lot of discussion about that, and a lot of people have said, no, that's probably not going to make much difference. Well, one of the groups that found this correlation was at Oxford University. So they decided, well, why don't we do a study of this? So they designed this. It was a well-designed study with an experimental group that were given the B vitamins and then a control group. And neither group knew, it's like a double-blind study, neither group knew what they were taking. And in the beginning, they took some brain scans of at least some of the participants, and they measured homocysteine levels, and they measured brain volume, and they measured memory. And then the one lucky group, again, neither group knew which they were going to be, and the one group were given a simple little tablet that contained 3 B vitamins. And they were vitamin B6, folic acid, or B9, and B12. Okay? And the study lasted approximately 2 years. And what they found at the end of that study was that those who received this simple B complex, we might say, probably cost less than 10 cents a day, had significantly less shrinkage in their brain. Now, as we get older, all of us have some shrinkage in our brain, but those who were taking these B vitamins had significantly less shrinkage in their brain, and they had significantly better memory scores. In fact, some of the participants, their scores were 100% better than those who did not take the B vitamins. And that was astounding results that resulted from the consumption of those simple B vitamins. It got a lot of attention nationally, internationally, including at UCLA, where they requested to get a copy of the tests that were taken, the brain scans of some of those individuals that were tested pre and post with their brain scans. And what they found was that not only did those 3 B vitamins reduce brain shrinkage somewhat, but their scans showed they reduced brain shrinkage by 90%. It was 90% less brain shrinkage in those that took those simple B vitamins than those who did not. I know the researcher mentioned that they had looked at reductions in brain shrinkage from a lot of things, from physical activity and mental activities, social interaction, and stress management, etc. And usually the reduction was like 25%. So three simple B vitamins reduce risk by 90%. Now, you probably want to know, well, where do I get these B vitamins? Well, just real quickly, folic acid is the most common one. That's found in vegetables, legumes, citrus fruits, grains, berries, liver, for example. In supplements, it's usually in the form of folic acid. Actually, dietary folate from a mixed diet has only about 50% of the bioavailability that synthetic folic acid has. So actually, in that case, the folic acid you usually get is a little better absorbed than just getting it from foods. The B6, let's see, that's in fish, liver, eggs, and other sources. Soybean, oats, whole wheat have some, peanut butter, walnuts are some decent sources of B6. Now, it's interesting, B12 is not in vegetables. So people, vegetarians, for example, have to be careful and find some other sources of B12 because that primarily comes from animal sources. It's in the cow's milk, so you don't have to eat the animals necessarily. It's also in eggs, chicken eggs, and it's in various types of meat, fish and liver and other types of meat. It's where you find the B12. Both B12 and folic acid are very important to reduce the risk for depression, and in fact, some antidepressant medications will lose their effectiveness if the body doesn't have sufficient amounts of those two B vitamins. So anyway, B vitamins are pretty powerful for our brain, and of course, they're in a variety of supplements. Most multivitamins have some B vitamins in. I think for the brain, probably the best supplement for that, one of the best I know is Memorize, the Memorize supplement, and one called Perceptive from the University of Massachusetts that I was involved in studying that showed that was very effective to improve memory.
One question I have is there such a thing as having too much vitamin B in your diet? If you get plenty from the foods you eat, is it dangerous to take supplements, or are supplements good?
The B vitamins are what are called water-soluble vitamins, and so generally, unless there's some genetic issues, generally if you get too much of those, they will just be removed with the urine. Okay, so on the other hand, there is a much greater risk, particularly for seniors, in not having enough B vitamins, certainly than having too many, because as I noted, if you have too many, they just get washed out. So not really.
Well, very good. Yeah. Well, thank you very much for that information. That is fascinating. Thank you, everybody, for joining us today. Please watch for future episodes of Brain Health Today, where we will discuss other important nutrients and methods that contribute to keeping your brain healthy and strong. This is Scott Larson wishing you a very brain healthy day.